G'day everybody, I'm Dazza. Welcome back to the channel. This episode, I'm going to get a Mustang 3-core radiator installed in the Futura. Going to get the diff installed and the handbrake and a lot of other things as well. So stick around and I hope you enjoy. Now, I found a radiator, believe it or not. I didn't even know I had it. Well, I did know, but I forgot about it. It's a Mustang 3-core radiator, and it bolts in perfectly. The holes align, yeah, spot on. I was going to put the regular XP, XM, or 64, 65 radiator in, but these 221s can get warm, so I reckon this 3-core is probably the way to go. Now, the problem I've got is the fan is very close. At the bottom, I reckon there's about 5 millimeters, or around 1/4 of an inch clearance. At the top, there's a bit more. I couldn't get the radiator cap off, so yeah, I just got a hacksaw and cut it off. It's the only way I could get it off. I tried prying it with a screwdriver, but that didn't work. So now this radiator can probably move about almost an inch forward. I suppose what that's going to do is the radiator cap will come a little bit under, but that should be alright. Should still be able to turn it. So now what I have seen some fellows do on Facebook, on one of the groups I'm in, is this bracket that the bolts go through to bolt to the apron. They've cut a slot in the top here on both sides, and then you actually lift the radiator up and drop it into that slot. Yeah, I'm thinking about doing that. But before I do that, I want to get this radiator checked out. It looks pretty good in the top. There was a little bit of crap in there I blew out, not much. But yeah, there's a couple of bent rows, whatever they're called, I don't know. The part that goes up from the top to the bottom, the water flows in it. One of those looks like it's got a bit of a ding in it. Possibly could leak, so I might take it to a radiator guy and just get him to go over it and repair it, and yeah, make sure it's okay. Just come down and check out the 2 radiators I have down here and see if I've got that fitting or fittings for that radiator. All right. Didn't have to go out there. We've got this one here. It's got 2 fittings on it. Already loose too. Nice. Looks good, they fit. Excellent. Let's check it fits the hose. Check that these fit the pipe actually. Yep, good. Now, this has got to go to the radiator guy, and I want him to move that outlet to this side. Just checking these tanks. They're both the same, except for that. I don't know, I'll take this radiator as well, and maybe he can just, it might be easier for him just to swap over the tanks instead of changing the outlet. But yeah, I'll take it to him and give him that option. Okay, I'll drop them into the radiator guy tomorrow, and hopefully he can sort that out for me. Oh, I'll tell you what, I'm a true dickhead. Some of the stuff I do, I tried jump starting this car last weekend, and I connected the positive to the earth. How stupid. Anyway, it's why it's called Deadhead Shed. I know I've mentioned that before, but it's true. I'm an idiot. Anyway, I've got it going. This thing sounds unreal. We go to the back. Got the choke on at the moment. I'll turn it down. Now I've got that fixed, I'm going back over the shed and get back onto that Futura. Transmission lines are all cleaned up and fitted. Just waiting on me to get that radiator down to the guy so we could have a look at that. And also, yeah, got most of the steering in, all the tie rods, the steering. I don't know what it's called. I can't remember. And yeah, most of it's done. Just got to do a bolt up there, a nut, tighten that up. It's only loose because the ball joint's turning as I tighten it. So yeah, I'll just sort that out. I've ordered some sway bar bushes, so when they turn up, I'll put the sway bar in as well. And getting more painting done. Just done that linkage for the transmission cable, kick down cable. Some more bolts. I think they're just rocket cover bolts. And got the bottom of the tank painted. Also, yesterday did these bolts for the front guards. So yeah, bit of work in these bolts. I think I'll just send them away next time. Now I'm going to have to send this linkage back. I think it's meant to be straight. Well, in my situation it is anyway. It's not the guy's fault. I should have specified that is what I needed. But he's happy to swap it over. So I'll just post that back to him and he can send me the one I need. Okay, I stole the linkage off my wagon, and I managed to fit the one that came off this carburetor onto the wagon. Now I'll just take this over and show you what I did. Now it started up okay, but she's running pretty high. I need to make some adjustments to it. Just get in there where you can see. Yeah, I did have a, let's take this off. I did have a spare one of these, which is that one there. And I just had to use a few washers, and I've got that nut on the back there. Done up pretty tight. Probably should have used some Loctite or something, but yeah, see how we go. Now here's why this was so important. I've got to get this on. Okay, I'm going to have to straighten that arm out. It is a bit bent. I might just put the multi grips on that and see if I can bend it. Just trying to get both of these arms, that kick down arm and the accelerator carby arm, to move in the same plane. You sort of see it dives away there on the left when it gets to the bottom. Now, I'm not sure what to do about that. Maybe this needs to be bent more and to come out this way further somehow. Maybe I can bend this rod a little bit. But when it gets to the top, it's good. It's good up there. So then when it gets down the bottom, it moves away. But anyway, I'll muck around with that. I mean, I'll leave it for the moment, but when I actually get the car running and the accelerator rod in and all that stuff, then I'll play around with it a bit more then, I think. Good morning. Saturday morning. I dropped that radiator off yesterday down at the Radiator fella and had a couple of presents turn up. So I'll just show you what I got. Got some sway bar bushes, which I definitely needed. And where do I open this? Here. New starter motor. Bye-bye box. Yeah, so just got to work out how to wire that up. It's hopefully it shouldn't be too hard. I'll get that in today, hopefully. And them. Oh yeah, and I picked up this as well. Replace that 60-year-old one. Righto, I'm not sure what's going on there. I got these from a respectable early Falcon dealer. I don't know if they're the wrong brackets or not, or the wrong bushes. I'll just I'll do a little bit of research, find out, and I'll contact the dealer just to find out what the go is. I got that sway bar bolted in, and I used those rubbers. Now, I'm not sure if I've done the right thing or not, but I've packed that out with a couple of washers, as you can see. I've sent a message to the guy I got the bushes from. If he says they're correct and yeah, and I don't need the washers, I'll just remove them. That's no big deal. And I'll just tighten the whole bracket home as tight as it goes. Okay, got the starter motor installed along with the battery cable. Got the body earth to the engine in place. Also got the gear selector rod in place down to the transmission. And I'm happy to report that the gears all select quite well. So yeah, happy days. I've got the passenger side leaf spring installed. Yeah, a little bit of mucking around, not too bad, but I had to jack the leaf up just so I could get those shackles to line up. And I also put some grease on them. Probably shouldn't, but I only put them on the mating surfaces where the bracket is and between the bush. I reckon they'll probably just squeak otherwise. I did the same on those ones there. All right, onto the driver's side. Rightio, both leaf springs are installed. Now I'll try and get that diff in. So I'm here on my own. Going to try and get that in. Well, just trying to get it out of here is going to be hard enough. Anyway, I'll see how I go. All right, wasn't too bad. Just going to put these U-bolts on now, and this bracket for the well, for the U-bolts and for the shock, and yeah, that's pretty much almost it, really. Yeah, getting there. Whew. Be helpful if that stayed on there, wouldn't it? Alright, just working on these handbrake parts. I've got to clean these up and paint them. I have to find the pin for the lever. I've got one somewhere, I have seen one, but that doesn't mean I'm going to find it. So I will have a look for that. These have got to be cleaned up. I've got to remove this section off the old cable. I might just cut the old cable. I shall see what the handbrakes, I'll see what the cable's like first, because yeah, if I can just get it out without damaging it, and might be something I can, hang on, no, I'll cut the cable. Decision made. And anyway, once I've done that and cleaned these up, I need to install the handbrake mechanism inside the car, and once that's done, I can hook it all up underneath, make the adjustments. And well, there's no point making adjustments until the drums go on. I can worry about that later. Sorry, just thinking out loud here. So yeah, I'll connect it all up underneath the car, and that should be the handbrake done and dusted. So yeah, progress. Something off the list, that's nice. Okay, I'll get these done and then on to something else. Just had a phone call from the Radiator fella. Going to head down there now. It's about a 45-minute drive. Yeah, go and pick this thing up. I can continue on with it. Rightio, there she is. All done. He's moved that bottom inlet over. See where it was there, he just put a wash plug in it. And he said that was okay. He's pressure tested it. And yeah, no dramas. Nice paint job on it. And I also got a couple of flanges for the exhaust. Unfortunately, it didn't have a muffler that I needed. Anyway, I might use that second hand one I have at home. Alright, I'll turn around, head home, and yeah, see you in 45 minutes. Okay, it's well, nearly 5 o'clock in the arvo. Just gotten home from the Radiator guy. Now, he's only painted wear along the top and where he's done his repairs, so I'm just going to go over it and give it a quick coat and just pretty it up a bit more. So yeah, I'll do that now, and then I'm heading inside for some dinner. Okay, hasn't been a bad day. Got a bit done. Actually, all the stuff I like doing. But yeah, that looks pretty good. I'm happy with the diff and those shockies. I won't be lowered. I'll just be sitting a normal height, I think. But I don't really care at the moment. I just want to get this thing done, and I'll worry about that sort of stuff later. When it comes to those Nolothane bushes I put in there, in those leaf springs, again, I don't really care about them. Once they start to bugger up, I'll just get some new rubber ones eventually. Those Nolothanes aren't that good. I do prefer the rubber bushes. So, but anyway, as I said, I'll worry about that another time. All right, good night, and I'll see you tomorrow. Got an extra coat of paint on the radiator last night before I finished up. Now today I just want to measure this. What's that, 500? And I'll go and set up to cut the radiator support panel. Just want to cover the engine and whatever I can, just to stop sparks getting all over the engine and all the fresh paint. So I'll do that now. All right, I need to take a little bit more out because it's hitting on the top of the support here. All right, let's try this again. It's catching at the bottom. Oh, there we go. And I've got good clearance now between the fan and the radiator. That's nice, that's good. It was just catching on. I'll show you what it was catching on. It's catching on that bit of pipe there. I think I've just bent it too. I'll touch this edge up. Anywhere I need to touch up, I will. But look at that clearance there now. That's good. That's at least, well, 20 millimeters, maybe even an inch. Got my tape measure here. Let's have a look. Yeah, about 22 millimeters. So yeah, that's good. And I now have a 3-core radiator. If that doesn't keep this engine cool, I don't know what will. Probably a thermo fan as well. All right, I'll bolt that in, do some touch-ups, and I just need to find out what radiator hoses I need now. That top one's going to be pretty short. I think the bottom one's just going to be a standard. Well, this engine's out of a 1969 XW Falcon, so I expect that bottom radiator hose will still be the same as the 69 model XW. Top one, I need to work that one out. I don't think that the old 64 Falcon radiator hose will do the job. I just think it's not big enough to go onto the water pump, or the water housing rather, thermostat housing. Oh. I get there eventually with the terminology. Anyway, next job. I'll just fix this in and onto something else. Just been working out how I'm going to bolt this radiator up to the support panel. I was wondering how I was going to get some packers in between the radiator and the support panel. I can't use anything solid because I can't get anything solid in there. So just using these old rubber washers of some sort. I don't know what they're off. But yeah, I can squeeze them in, and I'm just using these brackets. These things. And just screw them through from the inside, and yeah, secures it quite well. Just got the other 3 to go now. Also put a shorter bolt in the bottom there, so that's sorted. So yeah, that's all I've got to do. Just bolt that up and that's done. All right, it's the next day. A bit of a late start today. Had a couple of things to do early, but anyway. Today I think I might just start with, I want to pack that back that engine up, or the transmission. Just see if I can level that engine out a bit and widen that gap between the fan and the radiator inlet. Yeah, so I'll start there. Just put a couple of soft rubbers up in between that mount. Hopefully it has made a difference, but hopefully the dipstick for the gearbox, I think it's just touching the firewall up through there. Hopefully it won't be an issue. Anyway, it's something I can change later if I need to, but in the meantime, I'm just going to go up with the engine bay and see if that made a difference. Alright, let's have a look. Yeah, slight difference. Probably wasn't even worth it, but it's probably moved a couple of millimeters. And yeah, I don't know if the engine looks any better or not. Anyway, that's all good. It's not a major concern. If need be, I mean, I can probably raise that radiator up a little bit. That won't be an issue. Just tipped all this out on the floor to look for that pin I need for the handbrake, that lever underneath. This is kind of this is the container I keep all my odds and sods in. You know what that looks like? That's for the handbrake cable inside the cab. I wonder if that pin is what I need. Maybe it's the same under, you know, maybe they use the same pin for that as well as underneath for that lever. There we go. I knew I had one. I've got two now. Anyway, I'll see if that fits. Hopefully that's all I need for underneath the car. Connect that handbrake up. We got that pin in for that handbrake lever. It fits quite good. I will need to install a washer in between there just to take up this slack. Now, I have an issue, and it's with this. I think it's way too long. I've just hooked up the parts to go on the cable, so I'll just put them in place. Oops. And if I install this where it's got to go, goes there. I got way too much slack. Look at that. I mean, admittedly, that's got to go. They can go forward a bit, and there's a little bit of. Okay, imagine there's a few guys out there scratching their head and thinking, "Gee, that Daz is a bit of a dickhead. That cable isn't too long at all. This handbrake cable. And let me show you why." See that bracket right there? There's another one on the other side. This handbrake cable's got to go through that bracket. And I reckon that's just going to be the right length of cable now, so it pays to be a dickhead sometimes. No, it's, you know what, I'm glad I actually spent the time and had a look around, because it did save me having to take this out and start cutting it up. I would have been quite upset with myself if I did that. Anyway, I run this cable through them brackets and I reckon I should be good. Now, I'm a believer in bagging and tagging. And again, the compressor knows when it's come on, doesn't it? But the problem I have is I do bag and tag, but I lose the damn bags. I place them, I put them somewhere and I can't find them. Now, it took me about half an hour to find these clips. I looked everywhere, through all the parts, and I mean, I looked through those. Eventually I found them underneath with all that crap under there on that trolley. So I believe in doing it, but I'm just not that good at it. So on that frustrating note of spending so much time trying to find parts, I'm going to go over to the house and have some lunch. And I'll get back to that handbrake cable after. All right, see you shortly. All right, lunch finished. Go and sort this cable out now and clean up some handbrake parts, and probably that that drive shaft, tail shaft, whatever you like to call it. All right, after just coming back from lunch, I realised that they are not the brackets I need, or clips I need to hold that handbrake cable in. It's those. So, of course, again, I spent half an hour looking for them, and once again, they were down under that trolley. Should have checked there to begin with. Anyway, I'll clean these up and put them on. Okay, getting a bit dark now. I got that handbrake lever all painted up. It needs another coat, and I'll do that in the morning. Didn't get a chance to clean up the tail shaft. I'll also do that tomorrow and get it painted. Underneath the car, I got the cable hooked up to those two brackets. Handbrake cable, that is. See them hooked up there. Also hooked up the brake hose, the soft line to the hard line. I found that breather for the diff. The one I had on there was just, it was meant to have a rubber hose on it, but I couldn't be bothered mucking around with that, so I just changed that one out for that, the breather with the cap on it. What else? Oh yeah, that tag, I'll put the tag on. Just tidying up a lot of little things at the moment. All right, that's it for the day. I'm going inside. It's starting to get cool out here, and need to get the fire lit in the house. So yeah, I'll just pack up and see you in the morning. Okay, next day. Already been over here, of course. Check this out. That paint job is way too good for this part. Yeah, especially since it's going to be under the car. Yeah, so as I said last night, we've got to clean this up and paint it. I did find some paint that I've had for a while. I was going to paint it black, but I'm just about out. But I found this stuff. It is red, but anyway, I don't think it'll matter. A bit different anyway. This should be able to see the tail shaft under the car. Nice red paint on it. So yeah, I reckon I'll use that. Alright, I thought I would start. I was going to clean that tail shaft up, but I'll do that a bit later. I'm going to do this handbrake. I want to get the handbrake system sorted, and to do that I need to get rid of this. So I'm going to do that first, and then I'll crawl under the car. I mean, I've got to disconnect part of this under the car anyway. So yeah, I'll get started doing that. Quite easy to remove the handbrake mechanism. It's got the two bolts there and two Tech screws that hold the, like a bracket in, and just removing the inspection plate off the bottom of the torque box. Look at the dirt on that. And check this out. I'll grab a screwdriver and I'll start poking around at that and get that clean. Okay, change of plans. I'm just going to replace the mechanism. I've had a look at the cable and the cable's all right. The one that's in there, so yeah, I'm just going to leave that there. There's no point creating work for myself, I don't need to. And I'm just going to use that mechanism there. I'll take the cable off and store that away. It'll be used on the hard top eventually. So yeah, I'll do that. Handbrake mechanism is in. Dirt is still there. And I've got that lever installed. I've adjusted the cable up. I dare say I will need to adjust it later on once I get the brakes all bled and adjusted into the drums. But yeah, that's the bulk of that done. Now I might do this tail shaft. This is why I hate these wire wheels. They got me. It's not too bad. Scared the shit out of me, of course. But yeah, just getting tired at the end here, and yeah, I don't know, just grab me pants. Righto, didn't get a lot done today. Had a bit to do around here and had to go into town. Managed to get that handbrake sorted, so that's good. At least I got something scratched off the list. Got that tail shaft there drying away. I will put another coat on it. And I'm going to head inside and clean up my leg, which I haven't done yet. I just wanted to get that painted first, so yeah, I'll go do that now, and yeah, come back out, give this another coat, let it dry again, and then I'll put it away, and I'm going to call it a day. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed that video. A lot of work went into this one, got plenty of stuff done, but anyway, next episode, I'm going to get that exhaust done. I have already started that. Tail shaft installed, brakes, and I want to get it back on its wheels, so that'll be all in the next episode. So yeah, again, I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next episode. Cheers, guys.